guy Haskar here. So yeah, today I'm too much. You know the reason I recording this video for 13 minutes because have the program in my school, have the event in my school. I must go to for 3 days to it's like simulators for like the military. Yeah, so it's for 3 days and I make it to retake for the Tuesday, and in the Thursday I will make it for 30 minutes to enough the days for the Wednesday. So yeah, let's start it now. Today's sentence is this is an animated adaptation of a TEDx talk given by Wendy Trousel.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Pitch black outside.
Pitch black outside. My 14-year-old son is fast
My 14-year-old son is fast asleep in the bed.
asleep in his bed. I flip on the light and
I flip on the light and physically shake the poor boy awake.
physically shake the poor boy awake. Because I know that, like
ripping out a band-aid,
off a band-aid, it's better to get it over with.
it's better to get it out over with quickly.
Quickly. Sound brutal, but perhaps
Sound brutal, but perhaps familiar.
familiar. Every morning I
ask myself, how can I, knowing what I know,
myself, how can I, knowing what I know, be doing this to my own son? You see, I'm a sleep
I'm a sleep researcher.
So I know that I'm depriving
my son of sleep he desperately need.
my son of the sleep he desperately needs as a rapidly growing
rapidly growing teenagers.
teenager.
I also know that by waking him up
hours before his natural
biological clock tells him he's ready.
clock tells him he's ready, I'm literally robbing him
of the time of sleep.
the type of sleep most associated with
learning, memory, concentration, and emotion processing.
learning, memory consolidation, and emotional processing. But it's not just my kid that's being
deprived of sleep. Sleep deprivations among American teenagers is an epidemic.
Among American teenagers is an epidemic. Only about
1 in 10 gets the 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night.
10 gets the 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night recommended by sleep
scientists and
pediatricians.
The major factors preventing teens from getting the sleep they need.
Major factor preventing teens from getting the sleep they need is
a matter of public policy. Across the country, many schools are starting around 7:30 a.m.
Schools are starting around 7:30 a.m. or earlier. Despite the fact that
major medical organizations recommend
that middle and high
schools start no earlier than 8:30 a.m.
will start no earlier than 8:30 a.m. These early start
policies have a direct effect
on how little
sleep American teenagers are getting.
They're also pitting
teenagers in a fundamental, unwinnable fight.
Teenagers in a fundamentally unwinnable fight against their own bodies. Around the
time of puberty,
teenagers
experience a delay in their biological clock,
which determines when
he feels most awake and when we feel most sleepy.
Most awake and when we feel most sleepy. This is driven in part
by a shift in the release of hormone melatonin.
A shift in the release of the hormone melatonin. Teenagers' bodies wait
to start releasing melatonin until around 11 p.m.
to start releasing melatonin until around 11 p.m., which is 2 hours later than what we
2 hours later than what we see in adults or younger children.
In adults or younger children.
This means that waking a teenager up at 6 a.m.
Waking a teenager up at 6 a.m. is the
biological equivalent of waking an adult up at 4 a.m.
equivalent of waking an adult up at 4 a.m. Now, on the unfortunate days
when I have to wake up at 4 a.m.
I have to wake up at 4 a.m. I'm a zombie. Functionally useless. I can't think straight. I'm
irritable, and I probably shouldn't be driving a car.
But this
is how many American teenagers feel every single school day.
American teenagers feel every single school day. Many of the,
so we say, unpleasant characteristics that we trust up to being a teenager. Moodiness, irritability, laziness, depression.
Laziness, depression
could be a product of chronic sleep deprivation. For many teens battling chronic sleep loss, their go-to strategy to compensate is consuming large quantities of caffeine.
Consuming large quantities of caffeine in the form of
venti frappuccinos, of energy drinks and shots.
Frappuccinos for energy drinks and shots. So
essentially, we have got an entire population of tired but wired.
We've got an entire population of tired but wired youth.
Advocate of sleep-friendly start times. Know that adolescence is a period of dramatic brain development.
Adolescence is a period of dramatic brain development, particularly in the part
of the brain
that are
responsible for those higher order thinking processes. Including reasoning, problem solving, and good judgment. In other words, the very type of brain activity that's responsible for reining in those impulsive and often risky behaviors that are so characteristic of adolescence.
And often risky behaviors that are so characteristic of adolescence. They know that, like the rest
of Earth,
of us, when teenagers don't
get the sleep they need,
their brains,
their bodies, and behavior suffer.
Their bodies and behavior suffer. They can't concentrate. Their
attention plummets.
And many will
even show behavioral signs that mimic ADHD.
show behavioral signs that mimic ADHD. But the consequence of
teen sleep loss go well beyond the classroom.
Teen sleep loss go well beyond the classroom, sadly contributing to many of the mental health problems that skyrocket during adolescence. In our work with teens from LA Unified School District, we found that teens with sleep problems were 55% more likely. Problems were 55% more likely to have used alcohol
perhaps alcohol in the past month. In another study with over 30,000 high school students,
with over 30,000 high school students, they found that
for each hour of lost sleep,
there was a
38% increase in feeling sad or hopeless,
increase in feeling sad or hopeless, and a
58% increase in teen suicide attempts.
And increase in teen suicide attempts. And if that's not enough, teens
who skim out on sleep are at increased risk.
For a host of
physical health problems that plague our country, including obesity, heart disease, and diabetes.
Heart disease, and diabetes. Then there's the risk of putting a sleep.
Then there's the risk of putting a sleep-deprived teen behind the wheel. Studies have shown that getting 5 hours or less of sleep per night.
Getting 5 hours or less of sleep per night is the
equivalent of driving with a blood alcohol content above the legal limit. Researchers in these areas have produced tremendous science.
Showing the
benefit of later start times.
The findings are
unequivocal. Teens from districts with later start times get more sleep.
With later start times get more sleep. They're more likely to show up
for school. School absence dropped by 25% in one district.
Dropped by 25% in one district, and they're less likely to drop.
And they are less likely to drop out.
Not surprisingly.
They do better academically. Standards like test score in math and reading go up by 2 to 3 percentage points.
In math and reading go up by 2 to 3 percentage points. That's
as powerful as reducing class size by 1/3 fewer students.
Powerful as reducing class sizes by 1/3 fewer students. Their
mental and physical health improves. Their families are happier.
Physical health improves, and their families are happier. Even their communities are safer.
Even the communities are safer because car crash rates go down.
A
70% reduction in one district.
Now, given these tremendous
benefits, you might think
benefits, you might think, well, this is a no-brainer.
Well, this is a no-brainer, right?
Right? So why have we as a society failed to heed this call?
As
a society failed to heed this call. Delaying start times presents
many logistical challenges. Updating bus routes, increased transportation costs, impact on sport.
Increased transportation costs, impact on sports, care
before or after school.
But these are problems we have
to work through.
They are not valid excuses.
They are not valid excuse for failing to do the right thing for our children.
For failing to do the right thing for our children, which is to start middle and high schools
no earlier than 8:30 a.m.
No earlier than 8:30 a.m. Districts around
the country, big and small, who have made this change.
Big and small, who have made this change,
they found that these fears are often unfounded.
These fears are often unfounded and far outweighed
by the tremendous benefits
for student health
and performance
and
our collective public safety.
Education is the ultimate idea worth spreading.
Okay.
That's why we have a channel dedicated exclusively to
we'll copy the link of this video and you can watch this original video in the description. Let me see another videos here. This one. Oh, it's an advertising about the soldiers. Now it's okay.
A close encounter with a man-eating giant.
Close encounter with a man-eating giant.
A sorceress.
A sorceress who turns men into pigs. Everything you need to know to the raise homos. Is Vietnamese meaning it người da đỏ. I think are a sorceress who turns men into pigs. A long lost king taking back this throne.
His throne. On their own,
any of these make great stories.
Any of these make great stories, but each is just
one episode in the Odyssey.
One episode in the Odyssey.
Episodes in Odyssey. A 12,000 line poem spanning years of ancient Greek history, myth, and legend.
1,000-line poem spanning years of ancient Greek history, myth, and legend. How do we make
sense of such a massive text?
Such a massive text that comes from
and tells of a world so far away.
Tells of a world so far away. The fact that we can read the
Odyssey at all is pretty incredible.
The Odyssey at all is pretty incredible, as it was composed
as its word composed before the Greek alphabet appeared in the 8th century BCE.
Before the Greek alphabet appeared in the 8th century BCE, it was made for
listeners rather than readers.
And was performed by
oral poet called rhapsodies.
Oral poets called rhapsodes. Tradition
Tradition identifies its author as a blind man named Homer.
Identifies its author as a blind man named Homer. But no one
definitively knows whether he was real or legendary.
Definitively knows whether he was real or legendary. The earliest mentions of him occur centuries after
his era.
And
The poems attributed to him seem to have been changed. Vietnamese meaning is Thời đại.
Attributed to him seem to have been changed and rearranged many times by multiple authors.
And rearranged many times by multiple authors.
Before finally
being written down in their current form. In fact, the word rhapsode means stitching together.
The word rhapsode means stitching together, as these poets
combine existing stories, jokes, myths, and songs.
Combined existing stories, jokes, myths, and songs into a single
narrative.
To recite these
massive epics live,
rhapsodes employed a
steady meter,
along with mnemonic devices like repetition
of memorized passages or set pieces.
Memorized passages or set pieces. These included
description of sensory and list of characters.
Descriptions of scenery and lists of characters, and help the
raps keep their place in the narrative.
So keep their place in the narrative, just as the chorus or bridge.
Just as the chorus or bridge of a song help us to remember the next verses.
A song helps us to remember the next verses. Because most of the
tales were familiar to the audience.
It was common to hear the
section or poem out of order.
sections of the poem out of order. At some point, the order became set in stone.
At some point, the order became set in stone.
And the story was locked
into place as the one we read today.
into place as the one we read today. But since the
world had changed a bit in the last several thousand years,
world has changed a bit in the last several thousand years, it helps to have
some background before jumping in.
The
Odyssey itself is a sequel to Homer's other famous epic, the Iliad.
Itself is a sequel to Homer's other famous epic, the Iliad, which tells the
story of Trojan War.
Of the Trojan War. If there's one major theme
and uniting both poems, it is
uniting both poems, it's this: do not
under any circumstances incur words of the gods.
under any circumstances incur the wrath of the gods. The Greek pantheon is a dangerous
mix of divine power and human insecurity.
Mix of divine power and human insecurity, prone to
jealousy and grudges of epic proportions.
And grudges of epic proportions. And many of the
problems faced by humans in the poem are caused by their hubris.
Problems faced by humans in the poems are caused by their hubris or excessive
pride in believing themselves superior superior to the gods.
In believing themselves superior to the gods. The
desire to please the gods was so great.
Please the gods was so great that the ancient Greeks
traditionally welcomed all strangers
into their homes
with generosity,
for fear that
the strangers might be gods in disguise. This ancient code of hospitality was called Xenia. It involved hosts providing their guests with safety, food, and comfort.
Hosts providing their guests with safety, food, and comfort, and the guests
return the favors with courtesy and gifts if they had them.
Returning the favor with courtesy and gifts if they had them. Xenia
has significant role in the Odyssey.
Significant role in the Odyssey, where Odysseus
in his wanderings is a perpetual guest.
While in his absence,
his clever wife Penelope plays on non-stop host.
His clever wife Penelope plays non-stop host.
The Odyssey recalls all of Odysseus' years of travel.
Recounts all of Odysseus' years of travel, but the narrative
begins in medias res, in the middle of things.
Begins in medias res, in the middle of things. 10 years after
the Trojan War, we find our hero trapped on an island.
The Trojan War, we find our hero trapped on an island, still far
from his native Ithaca and the family he hasn't seen for 20 years.
His native Ithaca and the family he hasn't seen for 20 years. Because he's angered the sea gods Poseidon by blinding his son Cyclops. Sea god Poseidon by blinding his son, a Cyclops. Odysseus'
passage home has been fraught with mishap after mishaps.
Passage home has been fraught with mishap after mishap, with trouble brewing
at home and gods discussing his fate.
Home and gods discussing his fate. Odysseus begins
the account of those missing years to his hosts.
The account of those missing years to his hosts. One of the most
fascinating things of the Odysseys.
Things about the Odyssey is the gap between how little we know about his time period.
Little we know about its time period,
and the wealth
of details the text itself contains. Historian, linguists, and archaeologists,
linguists and archaeologists have spent
centuries searching for the ruins of Troy,
and identifying which islands Odysseus visited. Just like its hero, the 24-book epic has made its own long journey. The 24-book epic has made its own long journey through centuries
of myth and history.
To tell us its
incredible story today. Videos. So yeah, let's read the comment to end the videos now. We have only 50 seconds, about 50 seconds. Yeah, I will end the videos. 30 minutes. Yeah, I will end the video. So tiredly. Begin to sleeping. I'm prepared to sleeping now. And I edit the videos for to 10:30 a.m. and I'm sleeping to prepare for tomorrow event. So yeah, I take a shape of water and give you my shot. So yeah, it's enough for today. You remember, like and subscribe. You can watching my video, the origin videos in the description. So yeah, this is enough for today. Ta-ta for now. Goodbye to the testing.